What is cultivation? If you understand cultivation as a form of Eastern magic, you have misunderstood it from the beginning. Harry Potter style magic is, at its core, a tool system. The wand is a tool, spells are tools, potions are tools. If you have talent and learn to use the tools, you can cast magic. Cultivation, by contrast, is a system of self-transformation. It does not ask what you can use, it asks what you can become. The first rule of cultivation, and also the cruelest: no spiritual root, no cultivation. A spiritual root is not a question of high or low talent. A spiritual root is a channel. In the Chinese worldview, a kind of energy permeates the heavens and the earth, which practitioners call qi or spiritual energy. A spiritual root is the interface within your body that connects to this energy. Without this interface, the qi of heaven and earth simply does not exist for you. You cannot perceive it, much less refine it. This is different from the magical world. In the magical world, magical power resides within the wizard. Whether you have magic in your blood at birth determines whether you are a wizard. The wand is merely a guiding tool. The source of power lies within yourself. A squab has magical blood, but cannot cast spells. That is a blocked channel, not a missing source. Harry Potter has at least received an acceptance letter, knowing he belongs to that world. A person without a spiritual root does not even get that letter. A cultivator's power rests on four foundations: qi, divine sense, alchemy, and treasures. Qi is the energy from over the cultivator. When a wizard casts a spell, they temporarily invoke magical power. Once the spell ends, the power dissipates. Cultivators are different. They draw the qi of heaven and earth into their bodies through their spiritual root, store and repeatedly refine it in the dantian, transforming it into qi that belongs to themselves. This is an accumulative power system. Each session of cultivation increases the total amount of qi within the body. Each breakthrough to a new realm raises the upper limit of storage. To use an analogy, a wizard's magic is like a water pipe. Turn on the tap, water flows out. Turn it off, it stops. A cultivator's qi is like a reservoir. Water is added every day, and the reservoir itself is constantly being expanded. The former is invocation, the latter is accumulation. The concept of qi is not created out of thin air. In the authentic Taoist cultivation tradition, there exists a system of practice known as inner alchemy. Its core philosophy regards the human body as a furnace, takes essence, qi, and spirit as the objects of cultivation, and through specific refining procedures, condenses them within the body. The qi system in cultivation novels is a systematized and a visually amplified extension of this real cultivation tradition. Divine sense is the extension of spiritual power. It possesses both perception and attack functions. After cultivating divine sense, a practitioner can perceive areas far beyond the range of ordinary sight, see through illusions and disguises, and even directly impact another's consciousness with spiritual force. The strength of divine sense is directly linked to one's cultivation realm. There is something similar in Western magic. Legitimacy can read thoughts, and the Mad-Eye Modi's magical eye can see through invisible cloaks and disguises. But the divine sense is not a single skill. It is continuous, covering perceptual field, more like a radar that is always on, rather than a detection spell that requires active casting. Alchemy is a pharmaceutical system of the cultivator, compared to potion making. Snape's potions class requires precise control of ingredients and brewing time. Alchemy requires not only recipes and medicinal ingredients, but also the alchemist's own qi as a catalyst using alchemical flame to control the heat. Treasures are the equipment system of the cultivator. Flying swords, protective jade pendants, formation flags, storage pouches, all fall under the category of treasures. Treasures are powered by qi. The higher one's cultivation, the higher the grade of treasures one can wield. High-grade treasures can recognize and honor, bonding with the cultivator's divine sense. Even if stolen, they cannot be used by another. This is somewhat similar to wand loyalty. The elder wand chooses the one who truly defeated its master. High-grade treasures also recognize only their own master. The cultivation realms are a ladder climbed step by step. This episode will only introduce the first three realms, which constitute the complete transformation process from mortal to half-immortal. Magical education at Hogwarts is a 7-year system, from first year to 7th year, after which you graduate. Cultivation has no academic years, only realms, and the realms are not measured by time. Some find their golden core in 100 years. Others remain stuck at qi refining their entire lives. First realm, qi refining. This is entry stage of cultivation. The practitioner using breathing techniques and the spiritual root as a channel draws the qi of heaven and earth into the body and initially condense it in the dantian. After successful qi refining, bodily functions begin to depart from the mortal realm. Strength, speed, and perception all improved comprehensively, and ordinary blades can hardly use fatal injure. One can cast the most basic 5-element techniques. Their power is limited, but it marks that the practitioner is no longer purely mortal. Equivalent to a Hogwarts lawyer year student who has just learned the levitation charm and lumens. You know you have power, but the power is still very limited. Breathing Unique has a clear prototype in Taoist cultivation. Early Taoist practices included a specific Tu Na method, originating from the Zhuangzi chapter in Grid Options, blowing and breathing, exhaling the old and inhaling the new, using breath to expel turbid qi and draw in clear qi. The cultivation system's concept of absorbing heavenly and earthly qi during the qi refining stage is rooted precisely here. At this stage, one can perform artifact-assisted flight. The practitioner needs to rely on an external object, usually a low-grade flying sword, and cannot fly independently without an artifact. Compared to Harry Potter's broomstick, artifact-assisted flight offers less freedom, but the principle is familiar. Both require a vehicle. Life extends to around 150 years. Second realm, foundation establishment, is a dividing line between apprentice and the true cultivator. The practitioner must gather all the qi scattered throughout the meridians during the qi refining stage and condense it within the dantian into a stable energy structure. This structure is the foundation for all subsequent realms. The term foundation establishment also comes from the authentic inner alchemy system. Inner alchemy divides cultivation into 4 stages: foundation establishment, refining essence into qi, refining qi into spirit, and refining spirit to return to the void. Among them, foundation establishment is the initial foundational work, aimed at repairing bodily deficiencies in preparation for subsequent cultivation. After successful foundation establishment, the dantian's qi storage capacity and qi circulation efficiency undergo a qualitative leap. Lifespan extends to over 200 years. One can also fly autonomously. No artifact is needed. No one can levitate using one's own qi, though duration is limited. Here is a key distinction. In World of Harry Potter, a wizard's growth is more of an accumulation process, learning more spells, honing deeper knowledge, mastering finer control, while adult wizards have more mature magic. Fundamentally, a 7th-year student and a professor operate on the same logical system. In the cultivation system, however, growth is a process of reconstruction. A foundation establishment cultivator, compared to a qi refining cultivator, has not simply learned more techniques. The energy density within their body and their lifespan have undergone an evolution at the species level. Every breakthrough to a new realm is a transformation of the body itself. You have not learned new skills. You have become a different kind of being. Third realm, core formation. Core formation is the first true watershed on the path of cultivation. The vast majority of practitioners will never cross this threshold in their entire lives. The practitioners further compresses and refines the energy structure within the dantian, ultimately forming a solid energy core, the golden core. After the golden core forms, the practitioner's qi, reserves, and output capacity reach several times that of the foundation establishment stage. Lifespan leaps to over 500 years. To use a Harry Potter comparison, core formation roughly corresponds to becoming an aura. Not every wizard can reach this step, and those who do have clear status and recognition in the magical world. But the difference is that an aura is a career choice. Core formation is a transformation of life form. At this stage, one can fly freely. No artifact is needed, and the flight distance and duration increase significantly. This is why core formation cultivators are called half-immortals, because they possess the most intuitive characteristic of an immortal, true freedom of flight. Voldemort and Snape could fly unaided, but that required the highest level of magic attainment and was not something all-powerful wizards could do. In the world of Harry Potter, wizards live somewhat longer than monks. Dumbledore lived to 115, but Theodore Bagshot even longer, but they still age and they still die. In the cultivation system, however, longevity is not a legend. It is a defined milestone on the cultivation progress bar. Chi refining, over 100 years. Foundation establishment, over 200 years. Core formation, over 500 years. Nascent soul, over 1,000 years. Further ranks are measured in millennia. From the Ming Dynasty to today, 600 or 700 years have passed. If a core formation cultivators live among us, they would have seen Zhu Yuanzhang declare himself emperor, seen Columbus set sail, seen the Industrial Revolution, seen humanity land on the moon. What about us? Life is short, returning to dust in the end. Why can't the immortals live forever? While we ordinary mortals are trapped like frogs at the bottom of a wheel, unwilling to return to dust after a few decades, while heaven and earth remain unchanged. So, cultivation is from the start, going against heaven, contending with the heaven, wrestling with earth, advancing with no retreat. Heaven and earth have their own order. Birth, aging, sickness, and death are a part of that order. To seek longevity is to remove yourself from that order. Heaven will not consent, so this path permits no hesitation. Hesitation means you are still weighing things, still looking back, still wondering if it's worth it. And once you look back on this path, you can never walk it again. But being determined to walk it does not mean the path opens before you. The path of longevity has its cost, and the greatest cost is near mighty foes or heavenly tribulations. It's karma. Karma is not a mortal judgment. It is a fundamental rule within the cultivation worldview. The myriad things of heaven and earth exist in a dynamic five-element balance, nourishing and restraining one another, forming a closed loop. Any external force that intervenes will cause the system to generate an opposing force to counteract the disturbance and restore balance. This is fundamentally different from the magical rules in the world of Harry Potter. The consequences of your actions are mainly man-made. If discovered, you are punished. If cursed, you suffer backlash. If caught, you go to Azkaban. But all of this can be avoided. You can avoid being discovered, break the course, or escape from prison. But karma in the cultivation system is a systemic, automatic feedback mechanism. There is no one judging you. There is no one question of whether you can evade it. You cannot evade it, because the judge is not any person. It is heaven and earth itself. Mortals have no spiritual root and no deep connection to the chi of heaven and earth. Their actions occur on the surface layer of this system and cannot touch its deeper structure. Therefore, mortals are not subject to the force constraints of karmic rules. Cultivators are different. Cultivators are deeply bound to the chi of heaven and earth through their spiritual root. every time they cast a spell, every time they intervene in external affairs, they are applying a force to this balanced system. The system inevitably produces a feedback force equal in magnitude and opposite in direction. This feedback force is karma. The higher one's cultivation, the deeper the bond with the heaven and earth, and the heavier the impact of karma. A seemingly minor intervention may have its feedback return years later in unexpected ways. Therefore, cultivators are generally adhere to a principle: tend to oneself, follow the natural course. It is not coldness, not arrogance. It is a form of self-protection to the extent possible. This ancient cultivation system has also attracted scientific research interest in modern times. Research teams have conducted MRI scans and physiological measurements on experienced Taoist meditators, finding that they exhibit significant changes in heart rate, variability, and breathing frequency, indicating a state of deep relaxation. Cultivation novels are not creating something from nothing. They take the concepts of Taoist cultivation culture and reconstruct them into a quantifiable system of power growth. This is the true core of cultivation culture. It is not an invented worldview. It is a romanticized extension of China's native religious and philosophical traditions. But I sometimes wonder, if I too could set foot on the path of cultivation, could I truly cast aside all worldly attachments? Could I set aside family, loved ones, friends? The path of cultivation is arduous, and the great way is difficult. Compared to cultivating, perhaps being an ordinary mortal is a kind of happiness in itself. So, even as mortals, let us strive to live out our own brilliant and splendid lives. Thanks for watching such a long video. See you next time.